Good afternoon. Hello. How are you? What's going on? Let's talk about latest immigration news. Let's see who's here. Yes. Hello. How are you? Good afternoon. As you join, let me know in the comments where are you? How was your weekend? Uh, what's going on? We have few updates. Just let us know, okay? What's going on? Hello. How are you? How you feeling? Good afternoon. Let me know in the comments where are you? Where are you? How you feeling this lovely Monday? We have a few updates for you. What's going on in the immigration department? We want to talk about those latest immigration news. But first, we want to know. Let me know in the comment where you are. What state? Representing what states in the comments so we can talk about the latest immigration news. What's going on with parole in place for spouses of U.S. citizens? There's a court order, basically. Bonjour, Madame depuis Maryland. How are you? How are you feeling? Um, so we want to talk about latest immigration news, right? What's really going on in this immigration department as far as parole in place for spouses of U.S. citizens is concerned. Um, there was a court order on October 5th. I'm pretty sure you were aware. But in summary, what the court is saying is that they have to go straight to litigation, right? There's an injunction until November 8th, 2024, but litigation, the case will be heard on November 5th, next month. The case will be heard. Litigation is already basically they're ordering all parties to start filing with the filings starting October 11th. They have to start with the filings, all the briefs, all the evidence and stuff like that. Then the court will hear their argument. And on November 5th, pretty much we will know for sure the the decision, right? But you know, with litigation might be appeal later on. But regardless, we will know next month the future of parole in place for spouses of U.S. citizens. That's in short what's going on. That's what I wanted to talk about. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. How are you? So let me see on Instagram anybody is here. Yeah, nobody's there. Instagram sometimes people are not so responsive as YouTube. Anyway, so basically that's what's going on. Parole in place for spouses of US citizens. As you know, it's USCIS is still taking applications. They are still doing biometrics. Litigation is still on, and basically starting October 11th, the court has ordered both parties to start with the filings. And by November 5th, the court will hear all arguments and we shall know the future of parole in place. That's bottom of line. And we hope that this future is going to be good. That's all we can hope for. And next month is election month as well. So everything is just like in the air. We can only hope for the best, right? So who has a question here? I am greened now. Thank you for your help. You're welcome. You're welcome. Who else? Nobel MPA. Yes, if you withdraw your application for asylum, then the answer is yes. You can get your passport, because how else are you going to travel? So if you withdraw your application for asylum, the answer is yes. You should get your passport, because otherwise you're never going to be able to travel outside of the country. So the short answer is yes, because you no longer have a claim for asylum. Okay. Who else has a question here? I'm just waiting for questions, right? If anybody has a question, meanwhile, I'm gonna check if we have another immigration news, because that's the main news. For holding place is the main news. Litigation starts October 11 in terms of filings with the court, and we shall hear the response by November 5th or 8th. Let's see. Trump is now threatening to deport legal immigrants. Really? So I'm just trying to read on those if I can see any news. The Biden administration will not renew parole. Biden administration won't renew parole for immigrants from 4 countries. The Biden administration said Friday that immigrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela who entered the United States through a parole program will have to leave the country once the 2 years permits expire if they have not found another way to stay. Wow. Department of Homeland Security officials said the deadline was announced when the program was started halfway through President Joe Biden's term, with the goal of reducing record numbers of unlawful crossing at the U.S. border. Okay. Anyway, they are not going to renew parole for those 4 countries. So basically, if you haven't found a way to stay legally, then once parole is over, that's what they say, the person has to leave. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, usually people have TPS, so they can stay with TPS. Okay, I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, so we're just here to answer some questions, right? If you have a question, just put it in the comment so we can answer those questions. Nothing major going on. Next month is pretty much the future of parole in place will be known next month. Try to read messages and see if there's a question I can answer from here. Because sometimes, you have questions here. Sorry. Okay. We got a question here. Okay. Hi, my wife was married and changed her last name to his ex-husband. Okay, we married a month ago and want to start the process of changing status. Married Queen Card. Does she must change her last name again? That's up to her, right? The answer is up to her, that she, but who will want to keep the old name anyway? So obviously she's gonna have to change it at some point. unless she wants to keep it. But I don't think she wants to keep it. So she should change it. Good morning, Veronica Veligas. How are you? Yeah, if you withdraw asylum, then you no longer have an asylum case. So I don't see a problem traveling because you already withdraw asylum, right? So I don't see a problem with that. People do that all the time if they withdraw their asylum cases. Hi, Annie. How are you? Long time. How is it going? Any news? Do you have any news? Do you think this year is going to be faster to process VAWA cases? No, I don't think so. Because no, it's just taking forever anyway. For some reason, it's taking forever. I don't think so. I'm doing great. No news. Yes, that's good. At least you're doing great, right? You're in good health. That's important. So it's still good. You're doing good. You don't want to have your case pending and then meanwhile you're not doing good. No, we don't want that. We want you to do good, okay? While you're waiting for your case. That's good news. At least you're doing good fiscal year. Veronica Villegas, I don't know. I don't think so. It's always been taking forever. I don't think anything has changed as far as those processing time is concerned. I don't see any change at all. I mean, I haven't seen any change at all. People are still waiting for cases in 2020. Hi, just joining. What is up now? Okay, so we're talking about parole in place for spouses of U.S. citizens. The latest news is that trial will start October 11. The court has ordered both parties to start with filings, and the court will hear argument on November 5th. So pretty much after November 5th, we will know the future of this parole in place. But meanwhile, USCIS is still asking individuals to file for to still file for their application, to still take they're still sending people to take biometrics. People are still filing, it's still there, but they can't process any pending application until the hearing. So that's what's going on because the stay is still, the injunction is still there until November 8th, 2024. So basically, trial, the judge has ordered trial. That's it. So trial and filings and all that goes with trial and there's deadlines too, right? If you look at the calendar, they have to start with the filing on October 11 and they have to finish everything on November 1st. Then the court will hear the argument on November 5th. Then on November 8th, the injunction will be lifted. So by then we will know the future of that parole in place. Yeah, so the litigation is going. And how much? Can you have me to sue them? No, because I'm not. You have to go with a lawyer who's licensed in the federal district court where the case is pending. So if your case is pending, I'm not sure where, then you have to go with a lawyer who is licensed there in that federal court. That's how it works. It works with litigation. You have to go with a lawyer who's licensed in that federal. I'm licensed here in the federal courts in Maryland and in the federal courts in DC, District of Columbia. So that's only where I can file lawsuits, those type of lawsuits. So you're gonna have to find some lawyers who's licensed where your case is currently pending. Okay. So yeah, that's the answer. So my son appeal take 5 years. What can I do? Appeal is pending. There's nothing is you because you already appeal. Now you're just waiting for the response. Pending with what? BIA? Yeah, just what they're going to answer you. They will give you a response. BIA, it will take what it will take, the time it will take. But just know that they will give you they will give you basically the response, right? They'll give you the response. It takes some. I don't know why they take it take forever at the BIA level, uh, but trust me, you will get your response. Thank you. Welcome. I understand that's what we're seeing. If I'm a case on. Yeah, the processing time was 26 months. Now for VAWA, the processing time is like 40 months. Did you check today? Yeah, you just need to exercise some type of patience. That's all you can do. Oh, yes, BIA. Yeah, yes, BIA really, trust me, BIA, they take forever to respond, but trust me, they will give you your response. It can take even 8 years. I've seen somebody was complaining for 8 years, but they finally got their response. They will give you your response. But there's nothing meanwhile you can do because you're already on appeal. It's just that they have too many cases. Everybody's appealing. They take their time. When the injunctions lifted, you do think the application that were submitted at USA can be approved then? It's just going to depend on the basically it's going to depend because the trial is going on meanwhile, right? So it's going to depend on the decision of the courts because the trial is going on. It's filing starts on October 11, 2024. uh November 1st, 2024, that's the deadline for filing everything. On November 5th, the court is going to hear argument. I'm not sure if they're going to make their decision the same day, but let's say if they don't make a decision on November 5th and then the stay is lifted on November 8th, perhaps meanwhile USCIS can approve petitions until the decision comes, right? But I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with the decision before the November 8th. Trust me. They really have to come with the decision before November 8th. Yeah, they'll come with a decision. But let's say if the decision doesn't get there by November 8th, then yes, USCIS can, if it's lifted, then USCIS can approve petition. But I don't think it's gonna play out like that. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the decision is just gonna get there, depending on if it's positive. If it's positive, then USCIS will process. Meanwhile, the other parties still gonna appeal, right? So, yeah, yeah. I suggest that Tamika Wellington. I suggest that we just wait until November 5th to know for sure, or November 8th to know for sure what's going to happen. So, and they have I-130 pending. Yeah, usually what people do, right? If they have I-130 pending, if I-130, as a matter of fact, you should be happy that your case is still pending with BIA, right? You appeal. I'm not sure if it's asylum or something around those lines. But then you have I-130 pending. If meanwhile your case is pending with BIA and I-130 is approved, and because the case is open pending, you can ask BIA to terminate that removal or to remand back the case to immigration court so you can apply for adjustment of status. Because worst case scenario is if BIA decides before the I-130, and let's say because most of the time when BIA decides, it's always like out of 10 cases, 8 cases is just a denial, right? Anyway, so let's say it's a denial, and then before the I-130, then trying to reopen that case, oh my gosh, it's pretty much like impossible. It's not that easy. Yeah, that's why you see a lot of people with I-130 approved, but they can't do nothing with it because the case has been closed. They can't reopen those old removal, especially if ICE doesn't want to join those motions. So you should be happy that your case is still pending. At least you can find a solution meanwhile, right? So if I were you, I'll pray that the case stays pending while my I-130 gets approved. I just checked, it's 41 months process time for vow. Yeah, you see? Yeah, Veronica Villegas, just wait. There's nothing much, unless you have a reason to expedite, right? You can try to expedite your case if you have a reason to expedite and then hope for the best. But most of the time, those cases, unless it's extreme, it just like stays there. Yeah, so it's just like, oh, they don't expedite those cases. Anybody else? We're still taking questions. Great questions, by the way. We got great questions today. We are still taking questions. Do you have anybody have a question? Just put in the comments so we can take those questions and wrap up for the day. By the way, I'm posting a lot on TikTok. If you haven't done so, please go ahead on my TikTok, start following so you can get those new videos on adjustment of status. We're doing a lot on TikTok lately. If your PD request is approved, can you still work with your old work permit until you get another one to adjustment of status? That's going to depend on the job, right? If they're going to accept it. That's just going to depend on the employer. But most employer, if it's a new job, they're not going to get an old work permit. But if it's an old job, maybe you can explain to them, they might understand. So it's just going to depend on the employer. Yeah, that will depend on the employer, okay? The holder hasn't but if it hasn't expired, that's not a question. You just apply. You go to the interview, right? I was thinking it has expired. That's why you're wondering if they can get you to work. If you have a valid work permit that hasn't expired, you file, and then eventually they call you for the interview. Then you go do the interview. You show them. Up to them to grant you that or not the job. Love. Hi, how are you? What if it's in the same job? Will USA penalize you for what? For working without authorization, people work without authorization every day because there's nothing they can do. If they don't have a work permit, they always work without authorization. So it's up to the employer whether or not they can hire you with that work permit. Yeah, the only thing that people have to be truthful is when they apply. If they ask, have you ever worked without authorization? If you know you've worked without authorization, then you just say yes. If you never work without authorization, then the answer is no. But as far as will 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 my work permit get accepted? That's the employer problem. That's not USCIS. How do I get info pass appointment? You call USCIS. You call that number. I, they used to have something online about it. Let's see if they have it. They used to have something about info pass appointment. Pass appointment. Let's see. Yeah, this is the link, right? The link for, let me give the link here. Yeah, that's the link to get an info pass appointment, right? I believe. Then you click on request an appointment. Then they're gonna ask you for what? They have they only have 3 options for appointment anyway. You can call them or you can try to this web to the link. Yeah. How do I get? I just put the link right there. You can try to call the USCIS and hope you get anybody on the phone. Not that easy with those people. Or you can try with the link and try to see if you can get an appointment. Info pass appointment. Yeah, you have to click on request an appointment. The second where it says request an appointment, and then you say for what purposes you're requesting an appointment. Yeah, and you give all your information. Eventually, they'll call you and set up an appointment for you. But it's just like limited in some circumstances. That's PD cancel my work authorization is CO8. So basically, work authorization gets canceled if you no longer have a case, right? If you no longer have an asylum pending, then of course it's canceled just by law, right? You no longer have a valid asylum case pending, then of course work authorization is canceled. But the question becomes, if that work permit hasn't expired, usually people will still use it until the employer starts asking for a new one. That's when you run into trouble because the employer now they want to see a new one because this one has expired. Then if you don't have a new one, depending on your employer, some employer is just gonna say, well, just go home until you get a new one. But some employer they're understanding, and then they'll say, okay, um, you know, we're gonna give you 90 days until you come with a new one. But the answer is technically yes. If if you no longer have a valid asylum claim, then you no longer have a valid work permit. If you never receive your request for evidence letter, USCIS, it looks like USCIS make a mistake. So they should be the one who's gonna extend the the timing, because they're the one who never, they have to show you when they send it and where they send it. If maybe you change address, they send it to a different address and you never notified them of the new address, that's on you. But if they never send it to you, you should tell them you never send it to me. On what address? Because I never receive it. They should show you proof. So that should be the one. Basically, it's their mistake that they never send it to you, right? But sometimes arguing with them, it's just like dead end. So maybe you can tell them to send it again if the case is still pending, if the case is already closed. Um, you can, file that motion I-290B and explain yourself as to why you get it. You never got it. Yeah. But if the case is still pending, you should call them to request a new one. Because if you never receive it, it's like, okay, they say they send it to what address? Because you never received it. So they should send you another one so you can receive it. Right? Because if somebody say, I send it to you, but you don't see it in the status, it doesn't even show it was sent, you never receive it, nobody receive it, the address is correct, then something is wrong on their hands, right? They're supposed to be the one who have to send it to you. Let me, yeah. Anyway, I put the how to request an info pass appointment link. You can try that, or you can try calling them and see if you can request an appointment and explain yourself, maybe in person. But what I don't understand is that if they send it, they should tell you where they send it. And if you never receive it, they should send it to you again. Because if the address is correct, you're supposed to receive it. So let's see. We have a question here. Is it legal to reopen my case if I was injured? What do you mean you were injured? Like your case was closed and then now you want to reopen? What type of case, first of all? Yeah, so I-44 leaks. I don't understand the question. What type of case are you trying to reopen? And so basically, if a case is closed and you want to reopen it late, you have to have the reason as to why you're reopening late, right? So I'm not sure what you're trying to say about this question. Okay, so what else we have here? Okay, so this is it. I guess we got it all answered. Parole in place. We're still waiting for this litigation. November 5th, the court will hear arguments. Pretty sure we will know by then the future of parole in place. But meanwhile, USCIS is still claiming that you can still apply and you can still, they're still sending people to do biometrics and stuff like that. So that's the news we have. Parole in place litigation is on. Court holder filings, we are waiting. And then on November 5th, the court will hear arguments. I believe November 5th, that's election day. That means in November 5th, is it election day? Oh my gosh, can you believe those people? Oh my gosh, on November 5th, it's election day here. And that's when the court will hear argument on parole in place. For, oh my gosh, this is, I don't know how this is going to turn out. Yeah. I just hope something good comes out of it. I really hope, really, because I have cases pending. Yeah, I really hope. Okay. Thank you very much for showing up. This is it for today. 35-minute talking. Until next time, bye-bye. Stop here.